What's up, Crew Excellence, man? It's been a while since I just got to hang out with you, man. It is your boy, the illustrious, the infamous Justin Strickland, the owner of the Hope Institute and the leader of the Ladder Podcast. Welcome to another episode today. If you are new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. And if you're old here, make sure you know what you're supposed to do. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and share it with a homie. And then I want to hear y'all comments. I want to know what y'all think in the comments about this episode because I'm doing a little different. Usually, when I get on here, I'll talk about how you can grow as a leader and the things you can do. And I even oftentimes point to leaders. I bring guests on that will drop gems and talk about how you could be in positions like them and learn from their stories and their lives. That's not what today's episode is about, because every now and then, some leaders out in the world get on my nerves and they do stuff that is asinine, that is unintelligent, and that is unbelievable for people of their position, power, and influence. And so today is one of those episodes where I'm going to break down what poor leadership looks like. Why is poor leadership, and why you should not follow anyone who exhibits these traits and characteristics. So if you're excited about that episode, smash the like button because we're about to get to it. I'm going to talk about two people who I have been irritated by this week, annoyed by this week, and flabbergasted by this week. The more that I learn about these two people, the more I am shocked that they have ever held a position of leadership. So let's first start with our president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He is quite simply the craziest president I have ever had in my life. Now, some of you might be older than me, and you might have lived under Reagan or Nixon. But for me, he's by far the craziest president that I have ever lived underneath and known. And there's no question. He, this week, not only did he give a State of the Union, which was full of lies, exaggerations, and outright fantasy, he also decided to redecorate the White House with plaques dedicated to former U.S. presidents. And you might say, that's very noble of him. He's honoring the past and honoring those that held the prestigious office that he holds, one of the most powerful offices in the entire world. But that is not what happened. Actually, instead of getting historians to write short snippets or capture the different presidencies, he himself wrote many of the captions underneath these plaques in the hallway in the White House. And I want to make sure I'm putting the emphasis on these are in the White House, okay? This is in a U.S. Capitol building, not in his home, but in the White House where all the presidents have done their business, and this place that represents the unity, the power, if you will, of the United States, the influence of the United States. He put these plaques in this hallway. And I would love for you, if you are a supporter of his, to please drop a comment and let me know where I'm wrong, if I'm tripping, because I have blind spots. I'm not perfect either. But I just think this is a no. I think we all can agree on this. And I will give him this at a time in America where it is really hard to come to agreement. I think we all on both sides can agree that he's silly. At the very least, I would. My mama raised me right, so I'm trying to use my words correctly. But I think if someone else say, I'm gonna use my wife always loves. She loves to do it. Some might say he's an idiot. Now I didn't say that. You know but some would say that, and if someone told me that, I'm not saying I would necessarily argue. Okay, but let's get back to these plaques that he put in the White House. He put a plaque for Joe Biden, the president that won the last election and was president for the last 4 years, who beat him in an election, which I think he took personally, like he's Michael Jordan or something, because he really hates Joe Biden. And it's interesting because it's like you guys are the same age, and he acts like Joe Biden is like old and he's young. It's like y'all both old. Anyways, on Joe Biden, the former U.S. president's plaque, he put, "Sleepy Joe Biden was the worst president in United States history." Now, this is factually untrue. Like, if you actually go study the president, go way back, like to the early presidents, there were some terrible presidents. There were some absolute terrible presidents. So Joe Biden was not the worst president ever in U.S. history. But even if that is a belief you hold, it would be recency bias, but whatever. Let's just say you do believe that Joe Biden is the worst president of the United States. Putting that on a plaque in the White House is not only unprofessional, it's outright childish. It is outright childish. It is posting in a Facebook group you don't like somebody. Like, it is something that we would see from someone on Facebook making a status, tagging their arch enemy and being like, meet me at the corner, we're gonna fight. That's the level of immaturity doing something like that in the White House. In the White House. It's in the White House. And he did something like that. It's just childish. It's absolutely childish. Under Barack Obama's plaque, he put, "This is the most divisive president in U.S. history," which is absolutely untrue. Barack Obama did more bipartisan work than a lot of other presidents have done, and especially getting the Affordable Care Act passed. He was across the aisle a whole bunch. In fact, it's so interesting. A lot of the things that exist within the Affordable Care Act that the Republican Party doesn't like exist because the Republican Party wanted it in there. And that's just a whole nother story, whatever. But it is wild to say Barack Obama, a man who ran on unity, that was his platform. His platform was unity, is the most divisive president of the United States. It's actually not true. And then this one takes the cake, because at least those two could be those who are his opinion of those two men who were presidents, right? Like, I think it's asinine, and I think it's immature to write that on a plaque and order it and get someone to engrave it. But whatever. The next one is the most just the most out of pocket thing I think you could see anybody of his stature doing. Bill Clinton's plaque, the former U.S. president Bill Clinton, he wrote, "Bill Clinton's wife Hillary Clinton lost to Donald J. Trump in the presidential election race." That ain't got nothing to do with Bill Clinton. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. I told Nate I want to talk about this. I'm irritated, but whatever. I can't avoid the hot topic because I'm annoyed. This, like, to write that on a former U.S. president's plaque. We in regular life, we draw the line at talking about people's wives. Like, if I'm just a regular dude, you got a problem with me, cool. What you ain't gonna do is say something about my wife, because she ain't got nothing to do with me and your problem. And so the idea that he would not only say something about Bill Clinton's wife, he would engrave it and put it in the White House, is foolish. It's just out. Every time, let me not say every time, let me not be facetious, 90% of the times I see Donald J. Trump talk, I think of all the proverbs about foolish people. And I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about him. He's foolish. Like, this is what they're talking about. And so that's the first thing he did this week. That was just crazy, y'all. It's just absolute crazy. But he topped it. He did the State of the Union address. Perhaps the most important press conference that a president holds every year, barring any tragedy, where the president gives a State of the Union to encourage the U.S. people to update the people of the United States on policies, on laws, on the direction of this country. And he just lies. He get on there and lie. And if you don't believe me, I would love you to take your calculators out right now. Just take them out. Just take your calculators out right now. And I want you to do some math, because this is what I'm talking about. Just him absolute lying. One, he talked about healthcare. The Republican Party to this date has not done one single thing to support healthcare past the January deadline. They haven't provided any plans, even though during the shutdown, Trump said he had a plan ready to go. We have not seen it. We have not seen his he said it was the best healthcare plan. I'm not gonna do that. He said it was the best healthcare plan ever, and he said that we would be just amazed at how much money he could save us, and he talked about how he was gonna put millions of dollars back in the American people's hand, and all of this stuff. Plan doesn't exist. We've never seen it. So that was a lie from a few months ago. Let's talk about the lie that came out this week during the State of Union. You got your calculators out? All right, let's do it. All right, so let's say you have a prescription and it costs $100. Let's just say you have a prescription and it costs $100. Donald Trump said now that he would lower the cost of prescriptions by 600%. If you got your calculators out, I want you to do the math. He said he was going to lower prescription costs by 600%. Let's say medical care costs by 600%. So you who have the $100 prescription under Donald Trump's proposed plan, and it's not a plan. Let's call it what it is. His speech under the stuff he was saying, because he used to be talking. The stuff he was saying, instead of you paying $100 when you pick up your prescription, you would show up to pick up your prescription and they would give you $600. That is the plan that Donald Trump said he had, that the healthcare and the medical people, that everybody in the American people will be so excited with. Now you tell me what world he lives in where any healthcare company is going to pay people to take their prescriptions. Drop it in the comments. Hey, I'll be honest, I don't know how many of my audience actually likes him. I feel like people look like me, think like me, and that's how YouTube and social media works. But just in case you are over here and hanging out, please drop in the comments how that makes sense. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is the thing. This is my thing with not only with Donald Trump, but with leaders in general. Just because a leader represents an ideal or represents an organization or a party or whatever that you historically agree with, that you agree with more frequently than opposition, does not mean you cannot say she was wrong. That doesn't make sense. That is incorrect. It is okay for you to be like, I support this party, I support this organization, I support this country, but the person in charge is wrong. That is allowable. There is space for that. And unless you believe that your asthma is going to make you money, we agree on that. Like, we agree that he was wrong. We agree. And don't get me wrong. If we did live in a country where it paid to have medical issues, I think a lot of people would be happy. Okay? I think a lot of people would be happy. In theory, it's never going to happen because it's a lie. Okay? So he got on TV and lied to the American people with a straight face. That's the thing. He think y'all stupid. Not me, because I ain't listening to him. But the people that follow him, he really believes y'all are dumb. And that y'all not going to listen, and you're not going to fact check, and you're not going to use common sense. Because he thinks he can say whatever and keep y'all support. And that shouldn't be how leadership works, all right? I'm done. Anything else I want to say about it? No, I'm done with him. Forget him. That's it. All right. Drop a comment if you disagree, because I really want to know. Because I can't see a world where I'm wrong and you're right. But I would love to engage in the comments and see what happens. All right. Now, the next guy, I think I was even more irritated with him this week because I think Donald Trump is a public figure that I always was familiar with. And so when he did the dumb stuff this week, I was like, oh, that's dumb, normal. He does it all the time. But this next guy, he did dumb stuff this week that was out of left field. And so this guy named Sherrone Moore, he is the head football coach, or was the head football coach at the University of Michigan. And this week we found out that not only did he have an affair on his wife with a young staffer at the University of Michigan, he illegally gave her a bonus because of their relationship. He paid for her to have an abortion because he got her pregnant, and he was soliciting. That's not it. That's not all. That would be enough. That's not even it. And he was soliciting OnlyFans at the same time. This is my thing. I once applied or thought about applying. I didn't apply because I'm not crazy. But I once thought about applying to be an assistant basketball coach at University of Missouri, Kansas City. It's a very small Division I school, one of the smaller Division I schools in the country. And on the listing, it said they often work 70 to 80 hours a week. Sherrone Moore is the head football coach at the University of Michigan. And he not only had time to have an illicit affair with someone under his supervision, which is illegal in almost every occupation on planet Earth because of the power dynamic. And people might comment, it happens, whoop woo. If she was black, I ain't trying to hear none of that. He was wrong. All right. So he not only did that, had time for that, right? He had time to holler at OnlyFans models. I am flabbergasted by this, but for this reason. If he gets, this is the thing about coaching, and especially college coaching, professional coaching. The way that you make your money is just to get the job. Once you get the job, you are paid. And what I mean by that is almost all these contracts are guaranteed. And so they have buyouts. So once you get the job, you can be terrible at your job and they will buy you out for millions of dollars. Just be honest. You can be a great person and a terrible coach. And if they hire you, you are on the hook and you're going to make $10 million if you don't win a game. Penn State literally fired James Franklin this year. They were 3-3, fired him in the middle of the season. They owe him $60 million. They owe him $60 million because he was bad at his job. That is what being bad at your job in college football gets you. So even if Sherrone Moore was bad at his job, he was going to get $13 million. But because he was a bad person, he gets nothing and he was in jail. He went to jail. Like, Nate's going to have to turn down the levels on this. I told him before I recorded, these people got me irritated, fam. But, this is my thing, man. And I did a short about this last week. Sherrone Moore showed that no matter how talented you are, because he's a good coach. I think they won the Big Ten last year. He's a good coach. No matter how talented you are, bro, if you don't have integrity, if you're not a person of high character, if you don't have self-control, if you value pleasure over purpose, you gonna lose out. You gonna lose out on your position, on your influence, your longevity is gonna be shortened. Especially today. You might look back at all these people back in the day who was able to get away with crazy stuff. That ain't the time we live in. People snitch all the time. People video record. People screenshot. It used to be a deniable plausibility. Her word versus my word. Them text messages is screenshotted. Them emails is archived. And that's the thing. If you gonna be a horrible human, don't do it through email. Don't send text messages. If you're gonna be a horrible human, send a pigeon or something. The ideal that you could be a person who lacks character and intelligence, it's just crazy to me, y'all. And so this is my thing. I'm gonna wrap it up because, like I said, I tell Nate it's gonna be short because these people get on my nerves. But I did want to talk about them because I did have a point, something that we can learn from them. And this is it. One, intelligence and competency matters. Intelligence and competency matters. No matter what role you find yourself in as a leader, you must be competent and you must be intelligent. You have to be competent and intelligent. Being charismatic, being funny, being likable is not enough. Leadership requires competency. If you don't have competency, you shouldn't be a leader. You could be someone's friend. You could be someone's spouse. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't even marry you. But you could be in relationship with someone, an acquaintance. But you shouldn't be leading anyone if you are not competent. Okay, that's just point blank period. So that's the first thing. Competency and intelligence matter. The second thing is this: work on your character. Work on your character, because there are places that there are doors that God can open for you. But if your character is not intact, you will mess it up. Point blank period. You will mess it up. The more money you have, the more influence you have, it does not change you, it exposes you. And it exposes the things that you would do if you have money. There's a lot of people who see people do things with money and they're like, I would never do that. And I'm like, yes, you do. Yes, you would, because you do this, which is the same thing, just with less money and less access. I would never do that. You treat women terribly now and you're broke. If you had money, you would be worse. So the ideal that you are waiting on this opportunity to become a good person, when that opportunity comes, because you're not a good person, you will mess it up. So work on your character today so that when you do get this dream opportunity, which University of Michigan head coach position is a dream opportunity. It's probably a top 10 coaching job in the world, including in football, including professional football. Like, I would rather be the coach at University of Michigan than New Orleans Saints. Okay, like it's a better job. And so the idea that you would get that job, but your lack of character would get that job snatched from you is asinine. It's asinine. Like, it's grade A foolishness. Don't fall for that trap. Work on your character so that when you get the opportunity, you can take advantage of it. All right. Now, I love y'all. Talk to me in the comments. Tell me what you think about Sherrone Moore. Do y'all think he should have got fired? Yes, but tell me what you think, and let's discuss it. Don't forget to like it. If you stay to the end, you might as well. You might as well. I mean, you here the whole time. You might as well like it, man. Just press the button for me. But until next time, man, I love y'all. I hope y'all had a great holidays. This is going to be coming out after Christmas. So I hope y'all had a really good Christmas. And hey, I think this will be the last one of the 2025, man. So have a great, great New Year's. And I'm going to see y'all next year, man. Shout out to Crew Excellence, man. I'm out of here. Peace.